Welcome, dear listeners, to a tale spun not from tinsel and twinkling lights, but from the dark corners obscured by the facade of joy. Come closer, gather round the flickering shadows of this twisted Christmas yarn, for here lies a chilling account of the season veiled in deceitful cheer. Oh, how they whisper, those purveyors of festive falsehoods. They speak in honeyed tones of Yuletide wonder, spinning tales of merry gatherings and heartwarming cheer. They adorn the streets with glimmering lights, each one a fragile veneer masking the terrors lurking beneath. "Do you hear the joyful carols?" they ask, their voices laden with the weight of deception. But listen closely, dear friends, beyond the dulcet tones, and you'll catch the shrill notes of agony, drowned in the chorus of false jubilation. They adorn the evergreen with baubles and trinkets, disguising its solemn stancy as a symbol of eternal life. Yet in the dead of night, those same boughs cast haunting silhouettes, their shadows weaving sinister tapestries upon the walls. "Peace on earth, goodwill to all," they chant, a mantra to cloak the world's darkness. But in the silence of the snow-laden night, malevolent whispers linger, carrying tales of forgotten souls lost in the wintry abyss. Oh, the falsehoods they weave. For in this season of supposed joy, loneliness prowls like a predatory beast, stalking the forgotten, the neglected, the forsaken souls shivering in the cold. They speak of jolly old Saint Nicholas, bearing gifts for the pure of heart. Yet in the depths of their deceit, they omit the tales of his shadow self, Krampus, the sinister figure lurking in the periphery, ready to punish the wicked and snatch away the unsuspecting. So, as you partake in this grand illusion, remember this twisted truth. Behind the veneer of Christmas cheer lies a labyrinth of lies, masking the darkness clawing at the edges of this festive facade. Beware, dear listeners, for in this season of supposed merriment, the most chilling horrors often wear a festive guise. Once upon a time, the North Pole was a shimmering wonderland, a bastion of joy and cheer, where Santa Claus reigned as the beloved figure of Christmas. But the tale I have to tell is not of joy, but of a twisted reality where the North Pole has become a desolate wasteland ruled by a tyrannical Santa. The once thriving village of Elvis was now a haunting silhouette against the bleak landscape, its buildings crumbling and covered in frost. The laughter and festive music that once echoed through the air had been replaced by an eerie silence that sent chills down the spines of the few remaining elves. Santa had transformed into a despotic ruler, his jolly facade long gone, replaced by a sinister and domineering persona. The joyous man who once brought happiness to children had turned into a dictator who demanded absolute loyalty and obedience. His wife, Mrs. Claus, once a beacon of warmth and kindness, had become a mere shadow of herself, subdued and fearful under Santa's tyrannical rule. The once vibrant toy workshop was now a prison where the elves toiled endlessly under Santa's oppressive regime. Those who dared question his authority or spoke against his twisted ideals faced unspeakable punishments. Whispers of dissent were swiftly silenced, dissenters disappearing into the icy abyss, never to be seen again. The elves, once merry and industrious, were now mere shells of their former selves, their eyes hollow with fear and despair. Santa's iron-fisted rule had stripped them of their hope, their joy, and their freedom. Any attempt to overrule Santa or challenge his decrees was met with swift and merciless retribution. Whippings, exile into the frozen wilderness, or worse, a fate unknown in the depths of Santa's dungeons, awaited those who dared question his authority. The once magical reindeer, now emaciated and shackled, were forced into servitude, their spirits broken under Santa's relentless oppression. Their once glowing noses had dimmed, mirroring the bleakness that had descended upon the North Pole. Christmas, once a celebration of love and giving, had become a dark and joyless affair. The joyous carols were replaced by haunting laments that echoed through the barren wasteland, carrying the collective agony of those trapped in Santa's oppressive grip. As the world celebrated the holiday season, unaware of the horrors lurking in the North Pole, the twisted figure of Santa Claus presided over his desolate kingdom, a ruler consumed by power, his heart frozen in the depths of his own tyranny. The legend of Santa Claus had transformed into a chilling tale, a cautionary reminder that even the purest of intentions can succumb to darkness. And in the cold, forsaken expanse of the North Pole, the once fabled spirit of Christmas had been extinguished, lost to the tyranny of a corrupted icon. I never imagined that a night aboard the Polar Express would twist into a nightmare beyond comprehension. It began like any other Christmas Eve. My friends, Sam, Emma, and I eagerly boarded the train, brimming with excitement at the promise of a magical journey to the North Pole. As the train glided through the wintry landscape, an ominous sensation lingered in the air, a feeling that something was amiss. It wasn't long before strange occurrences unfolded. The cheerful ambiance of the train morphed into an eerie silence, broken only by the unsettling creaks of the old locomotive. We wandered through the train cars, passing cabins draped in shadows and corridors, veiled in an ominous chill. Suddenly, we stumbled upon a compartment bathed in an eerie red glow, and there he was, Santa Claus himself. But his appearance was unlike any jolly figure we had envisioned. His eyes held a deep sadness, a flicker of despair that pierced through his once twinkling gaze. "Children," he spoke, his voice tinged with a haunting sorrow. "I must warn you, the North Pole is not what it seems." He explained in hushed tones, revealing a chilling truth, that the real Santa had been overthrown by a malevolent demon, twisting the holiday spirit into a nightmarish realm. The train was bound not for the cheerful North Pole, but to a place corrupted by darkness. As the journey continued, the train hurtled through a twisted landscape, a haunting realm shrouded in fog and shadows. The once majestic snow-capped mountains were now foreboding silhouettes, and the landscape was littered with eerie, gnarled trees. We encountered horrifying visions along the way, ghostly apparitions that wailed in despair, echoing through the desolate landscape. The once gleaming stars were now obscured by an oppressive darkness, and the air crackled with an ominous energy. Santa guided us through the train's maze-like corridors, evading grotesque creatures that lurked in the shadows, their eyes glowing with malice. The closer we got to the North Pole, the more the train seemed to shift and warp, its metal groaning under an otherworldly pressure. Finally, the train screeched to a bone-chilling halt, the air thick with a malevolent presence. We disembarked into a scene of horror, a twisted, nightmarish version of the North Pole, its buildings decrepit and cloaked in an unnatural darkness. And there, on a throne of icy thorns, sat a menacing figure, a demon adorned in tattered robes, its eyes smoldering with infernal fire. It had usurped the role of Santa, perverting the holiday spirit into a realm of despair and terror. Santa's voice quivered as he explained the demon's reign of terror, how it had enslaved the elves, corrupted the once majestic reindeer into grotesque creatures, and turned the joyful celebration of Christmas into a grim mockery. The demon turned its gaze upon us, a chilling smirk spreading across its twisted visage. "Welcome," it hissed, its voice a cacophony of whispers and screams. "You are now part of my kingdom." Fear clenched my heart as the demon's minions closed in, their ghastly forms converging upon us. We fled, racing through the nightmarish landscape, chased by the demon's hellish creatures. In a desperate bid for escape, we stumbled upon a portal, a shimmering rift in reality that beckoned with a faint glimmer of hope. With trembling hands, we leaped through, hurtling away from the demonic North Pole and back onto the Polar Express. As the train sped away, hurtling through time and space, I clutched my friends close, their faces etched with the horror of what we had witnessed. The memory of that twisted journey still haunts my dreams, a chilling reminder that even the most beloved of traditions can be corrupted by darkness, and that sometimes the line between magic and nightmare is disturbingly thin. The night had started like any other. A group of us gathered for a holiday celebration. But everything changed when a blinding flash of light engulfed us, snatching us away from Earth's embrace and hurling us into a realm of unfathomable terror. We awoke disoriented, scattered across a desolate landscape adorned with eerie, glowing flora. Panic surged as we realized we were on some twisted Christmas game preserve planet, a place where our worst nightmares were about to unfold. Before us lay crates, each emblazoned with a glowing symbol. Inside, weapons glinted in the eerie light, our only chance at survival against the horrors that awaited. Parachutes drifted down, delivering these grim gifts, and we seized them, knowing they were our only hope against the impending doom. As we scurried to arm ourselves, warnings echoed in our minds. The malevolent Krampus and the once jolly Santa Claus had been unleashed upon us, turning this festive season into a macabre hunt. They roamed the planet, stalking us with nefarious intent, the thrill of the chase fueling their malicious desires. Our defenses were meager against the relentless onslaught. Krampus unleashed his wrath, setting cunning traps and summoning demonic creatures to impede our progress. The air was thick with tension as we navigated this deadly maze, our hearts pounding with terror at every turn. Santa, now a distorted and twisted figure, wielded dark powers, his jovial facade twisted into a mask of malevolence. He bore down on us with an unholy fervor, his once jolly laughter now a haunting echo that sent shivers down our spines. With each passing moment, the planet revealed its gruesome surprises. Sinister creatures lurked in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with hunger for our demise. We fought tooth and nail, our every step fraught with danger and the lurking dread that we might be the next victim in this hellish game. We banded together, using the weapons we had been granted to fend off the relentless assault. Traps lay in wait, cunningly concealed to ensnare the unwary. The line between survival and annihilation grew increasingly thin. As the numbers dwindled, fear coalesced into desperation. We realized that only one among us would emerge victorious, the last survivor granted a wish. But the twisted irony was this: no wish granted on this accursed planet came without a terrifying twist. I fought with every ounce of strength, the adrenaline surging through me as I dodged the claws of Krampus and evaded the calculated strikes of the malevolent Santa. With each passing second, the prize of a wish loomed closer, promising salvation but concealing a horrifying fate. In a harrowing final showdown, I emerged as the lone survivor, gasping for breath and clutching onto hope. I uttered my wish, my voice trembling with desperation. But as the wish echoed into the void, the horrifying twist manifested, a curse that ensnared me, binding me to this nightmarish planet for all eternity, forced to perpetuate the gruesome game that had claimed the lives of my friends. The chilling irony settled in. The wish granted, but at an unspeakable cost. I had survived, but in doing so, I had become an unwitting participant in a never-ending cycle of horror, trapped in this twisted realm, a warning etched in the stars that some wishes come at a price too steep to bear. The memories of childhood fears lingered, even as we gathered around the table for our traditional Christmas Eve dinner. Laughter echoed as we reminisced about our old tales, recounting the legend of the Grinch, the sinister creature who haunted our childhood dreams with his looming presence and malevolent intentions. As we swapped stories, a chill settled in my bones. The Grinch tale took on a twisted turn, a haunting alternate version that seemed to claw at the edges of reality. The atmosphere grew tense, and a knot of dread formed in my stomach as the details of this macabre adaptation unfolded. I felt unease creep over me, the nostalgic fear resurrected from the depths of memory. I begged them to stop, my voice trembling with an irrational terror that gripped my soul. But the tales continued, each word a chilling echo in the back of my mind. That night, as the clock struck 1, a sense of foreboding washed over me. A restless curiosity drew me to the window, where a sliver of moonlight cast eerie shadows across our neighbor's house. I peered through the glass, a shiver running down my spine at the sight before me. A woman wandered in a daze around the dimly lit rooms of the house, her movements erratic, as if searching for something lost. But as she entered her bedroom, a sense of horror gripped me. A dark figure stood, cloaked in shadows, its presence ominous and foreboding. My breath hitched as I realized the figure's identity. It was the Grinch, but not the whimsical character from childhood tales. This was a nightmarish incarnation, his eyes wide open, devoid of mirth, filled with an unrelenting darkness. The woman turned toward the figure, unaware of the looming danger in the room. My heart raced as the Grinch moved with a predatory grace, unleashing a ferocity that shattered the tranquility of the night. He attacked her viciously, his actions devoid of any semblance of the holiday spirit, a terrifying spectacle that chilled me to the core. I recoiled in horror, my mind unable to comprehend the grotesque scene unfolding before me. The Grinch, once a fictional creation, now a nightmarish reality, his malevolence unleashed upon an unsuspecting victim. Terror rooted me to the spot as the woman's cries pierced the stillness of the night. I stumbled backward, torn between the instinct to help and the paralyzing fear that held me captive. The darkness had swallowed her screams, leaving only the haunting echoes of the gruesome encounter etched into my memory. The nightmarish truth shattered the illusions of childhood tales, leaving me haunted by the realization that some legends are not merely stories, they are harbingers of unfathomable terror lurking in the shadows, waiting to shatter the fabric of reality and plunge us into a chilling darkness.